This is Lansdowne Row, the voice of the fans, and we are back here in North London. We're back in Finchley Studio, so that means we have a very special guest in association with Jemison. Very important we get that bit in. Mr. Ian Harte, welcome.
Thanks for having us, guys.
No, yeah, of course, we had you last year, Lansdowne Legends, and you're back here now for a proper sit-down. As you know, we said we do. We said we do this last year, didn't we?
I did say to Martin, I said I'd definitely come on. So, yeah, it's good time and leading into Christmas time. And obviously Irish football has, picked up and some quality results.
We're back.
Something to look forward to. And please God, win against the Czech Republic and then...
And hopefully wherever...
A game potentially at home against Denmark or... Is it North
Macedonia?
Yeah, North Macedonia. But I better not say Macedonia. Yeah, there's a viewer out there who calls me anytime.
What a hypocrite. You always say Macedonia.
Exactly.
Yeah, so...
I know.
Just because Ian's here doesn't mean you have to be all politically correct.
I'm never politically correct, Connor. I think we can all agree to that. How are you doing without your phone, by the way? We've actually confiscated Connor's phone, so he might start to sweat and get a bit antsy and a bit agitated.
See, give me cheek. Roy Keane wouldn't be happy with how often he's been late these days, would he? Yeah.
Exactly.
What would Roy think of him being late, Ian?
Who's been late?
He's always
late.
over there. He's always late.
Well, I can only say today he was on time.
Thank you, Ian.
You're welcome.
I was on time for the main event, lads.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
let you away.
You're not really that.
I haven't seen when he has been late, so I don't know.
There you go. Always on time for you, Ian.
Thanks.
Always on time for you. There we are.
Well, as Roy would say, if you're on time, you're late.
Exactly. Always early for you, Ian. Always early for you. Don't want to annoy Roy. Probably come out of the wall. Of course, bit of housekeeping as always. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can head over to a Facebook, Instagram and a Twitter account. And if you want to support us a little bit more, you can go to Roar Plus, which is in the description of this video. And also you can buy us a coffee over a coffee, which is also in the description of this video. So, should we get into it, Ian?
Go ahead, yeah.
So, 64 caps, 12 goals for the boys in green, a career spanning...
11.
What?
According to the boy on Twitter, 11 goals for Ireland.
11 goals for Ireland?
Who's talking to him? It's definitely 12.
Yeah, the boy on Twitter.
Wow.
Do you remember the boy on Twitter a couple of weeks ago?
No, yeah.
Only 11 goals.
I'm sure it was 63 games.
Yeah.
Was it 63 games?
Oh,
Jesus, we can't be wrong already.
Oh,
Wrap
it up
I'm sure
already.
63. I'm sure it is 63, but if it is 64, but it's definitely 12 goals, yes.
Well, to be
and
fair,
a missed penalty, as that guy said, yeah.
cheek. We'll sort him out.
how does that take away? How does that take away if you miss a penalty? How does that take away another goal? Is that how it works? Like, if you miss a penalty, you lose one of your actual goals. Is that what?
No, I don't know.
No,
Or was he just off?
I think he's just making the point.
he had a few Jemisons that day.
Yeah.
He had them new ginger.
Yeah.
Or he was getting bullied off his missus.
Fair. But yeah, I mean, a fantastic career with the boys of green. Obviously, you got to represent a world. The last time we were in the World Cup, you got to represent us, and now we have the current crop. Probably the closest we've been in a very long time going to a World Cup. So yeah, I mean, do you want to just take us back when you first started? You made your debut with Croatia in a 2-2 draw on the 2nd of June 1996.
Kind of telling me age, isn't it? But no, of course it was. Mick brought me in. There was a time where I was playing more games for Republic of Ireland than I was for Leeds United. So it was unbelievable. Obviously, for a young lad growing up, to go out and obviously achieve what I've achieved, obviously playing football, but to represent your country is like the pinnacle of football. And obviously, you want to try and play in the top kind of tournaments. And I've been very, very fortunate to kind of do that, especially with Ireland, you know what I mean? I think we've had some amazing players kind of coming through at my time, and to obviously go and play in Japan and Korea World Cup was definitely the highlight.
Absolutely. Obviously, when Mick comes in, he comes in March. Well, he's appointed February '96, obviously after Jack. I mean, massive shoes to fill there, and he's left with a very ageing team. Mick is, and I think that this gets forgotten about a lot, and we all love Jack, but obviously Jack had, he sort of neglected that side of things a little bit, blooding in new players, and Mick had to bring in young players like yourself. How old were you when you made your debut? 18. Coming in and then becoming a mainstay really of that France 98 squad as well. You guys got to go away. Obviously it was quite tough with Mick. I think he went 8 games without a win, and you guys all went off to America, That would have been your first tournament with the boys in green.
Yeah, it
wasn't
was. It was 3 games we played, wasn't it?
USA, that
Mexico.
mad game against Mexico where Niall Quinn, was it Liam Daish got sent off? Mick got sent off on the bench.
David Conley scored, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a 2-2 draw. It was Packy Bonner's last game for
I
Ireland.
scored in
One of them, yeah,
Bolivia, wasn't it? Scored a header at the Giant Stadium.
Your first goal, yeah, it was the 3-0 win, which was also Mick's first win against Bolivia. So I mean,
There you go. That's all down to you.
Yeah.
You gave Mick his first win.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Congrats.
Not me. The team. The team. No, it was good. There was a group of young lads, obviously a few senior lads that were still around at the time, and it was just obviously, I know managers, you're all based on winning games of football and playing some exciting football. Always difficult to follow in the shoes of what Jack had achieved. Obviously brought the field goal back, factor back to Irish football, and it took us obviously a bit of time, players to kind of slot in, find their feet, and once we did that, we made it a bit of a fortress. I think our squad when we were playing, I think it was the highest we ever got to. I think it was 9th in the world. Is that right or not?
Under Mick, I think it was 40, highest ever 6th. I was under Jack, and I think under Mick was 14th.
Was it?
14th.
I thought it was lower. I thought it was 9th.
I
honestly.
think Ian's right here.
Yeah.
Ian's right.
Am I
I remember that, Ian.
It was 9th.
That was 9th.
Don't worry, you weren't even an itch in your daddy's pants at that stage. It wasn't even thought about.
It wasn't even mobile phones then.
No.
Well, maybe a 14th, but yeah, obviously team teams used to come to Lansdowne Road, not fancy it. We used to turn them over, yeah.
Yeah, we never, literally it wasn't until Mick's, jumping ahead here a little bit, Mick's first competitive loss at home was his last game in charge, the 2-1 against Switzerland. He'd never lost a competitive game at home. And actually, that was his only competitive loss at home.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was that was in his first stint when he resigned in 2002. But even when he came back, he never lost at home.
Wow.
For a second stint. So, it was an absolute fortress,
Yeah.
As you say, people didn't fancy it. The crowd, obviously you get stuck into them. And, it was a good team as well.
Yeah.
And maybe the pitch probably helped a little bit too, did it?
To be honest, the pitch was fine. It's not as if it was cut up like years ago. I think the pitch has always been pretty decent. But, yeah, we crossed the white line. No matter what 11 were out there, the lads on the bench, we were all together. And no matter who we faced, we knew we were going to make it difficult for them. And when you got players top end of the pitch that can score goals, then you can obviously keep it tight at the back. You're going to win games of football. So, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't easy for Mick when he came in. He went the 8 games without a win. He was obviously he was filling Jack Charlton's shoes, which was a possible task. Although he would get there eventually. Obviously, it was a very turbulent time, and I remember do you remember the early days? Obviously, with Roy as well. They had a very turbulent start, didn't they? That Roy was supposed to go to the World to the US Cup, and then they had a bit of a fallout and didn't come back in till I think it was November against Iceland, the 0-0 draw and all that. And the press were getting on him, and everyone seems to be getting on the team because obviously the standards are set so high by Jack. How did you feel as a young player in that squad?
We didn't really know much about that. What might have been going on behind the scenes or not. Say we're picked to turn up within the squad. It's just brilliant to have your name down, and obviously you go out there and train every single day to try and get in the starting 11. So our focus was on trying to win games of football. So it was never really knew that there was any problem with Mick or Roy, in all honesty.
What was that like coming into the squad then with players you've seen at the '94 World Cup, and then legends basically coming in?
Like Ray Houghton or John Aldridge, yeah.
Did you believe it? Just.
Well, to be honest, it's kind of pinch yourself moment.
Yeah.
But I have to say, people always say never meet legends or people that you look up to, and obviously you're looking at what Ray had done for Irish football and Aldo, and obviously Tony Cascarino. People say he probably should never have played because I don't know, did he have any family members that were Irish?
It came out later, didn't it?
It came up later, he hasn't.
Yeah.
So, but obviously Aldo and Ray, Andy Townsend, top guys, you know what I mean? And you could see that when they were training, the way they applied themselves to try and be the best form of themselves, and we knew that stepping up, we had to raise our game as well.
Yeah, because people have, that first campaign. There is a documentary out there called McCarthy's Park, and it's behind the scenes. And I don't know if you ever watched. Have you ever watched it back?
No.
I'll send you a copy of it. It's
brilliant.
It's brilliant, and you just see like how mad it was, and Mick had come in, and he was a real us against them, because the press was sort of after us, as I said earlier on, and the whole thing with Roy was bubbling off, and there was something really, I don't know, it was something special, really special about supporting that Ireland team, because it was a real, you could feel it. There was a real siege mentality from the management and the players against the press, and you're with us or against us. And you had the thing with Mick. You had obviously Paul. There was a bit of a fallout there as well. It's been well documented, and even John Aldridge. And you have all these really young players. You guys, like yourself, 18-year-old, and you're playing with Andy Townsend, Ray Houghton. It was a real sort of changing of the guard moment. And I don't know, there was a bit of an imbalance in the team, because you had really young players and really
senior players,
and it's that little bit of imbalance. But you could see there was something. Do you remember at the time that you could really see that there was something trying to.
You had like Babsy and Jason and Kells that kind of had the exposure of probably being with the lads at the American World Cup. So, but obviously us younger lads coming in. Yeah. You have to kind of learn quickly, you know what I mean? There were certain standards. Obviously, you're playing international football, so you need to step up. At that time, I played most of the games playing centre half, I'm sure, when I started off.
We spoke about it off air, yeah.
Yeah. One game that stands out for me is against Argentina. Batistuta, literally got an absolute lesson. But they're the moments that kind of stand you, well, I need to step up. I need to be better, because he was a man mountain. His movement held up the ball. You couldn't get round him, and can't remember what score was in that game.
2-0.
2-0. But it was a proper lesson that we got that night.
That was sort of. I'm going ahead a little bit, but I remember that was a real changing point for Mick's Ireland. You could, I don't know, Robbie Keane and Duff had made their home debut, I think, in that game, because they played against the Czech Republic in March. And there was just a real feel-good factor, because we put it up to them. That was a top. That was a really top.
They were unbelievable.
Ortega,
Ayala centre half. Now he was only, I'd say 5'7", 5'8", but he could jump about 7, 8 foot. He just hung up there, wasn't he? Like tough. A salmon. He was
tough as nails, hard as nails. Like most South American teams. I was just saying to Ian on fair. Do you remember David Rowe, the goalkeeper? And he went because it was 98, and he thought the world was going to end. And he, and he went hiding in the Argentinian mountains, waiting for the millennium to kick in.
Is he still there?
That's weird. I don't know. Get your phone out and check. No, that was a top team, and you could really feel that was a turning point for that team. But obviously, the campaign, the France '98 campaign, we were well off the pace. It was a transitional squad, I think we finished 10 points behind Romania, and we eventually got into, we got into the playoffs there against Belgium, home and away. Now, obviously, we were missing. It was 1-1 at home, and there was a bit of a gap between. I think one was in October.
Yeah.
Dennis Irwin got the goal. 1-1. Did you play in the home game?
I'm hoping you're going to tell me.
Jesus.
You kid know Ian.
Sorry.
Who scored the goal? Dennis Irwin.
Dennis Irwin got a free kick, and then
who was the striker that played for them up top?
Luke Nillis.
Yeah, he was very good, wasn't he?
He was superb. Yeah.
So good. He scored in the game
over there as well.
Yeah. Because Ian Harte got injured. Sorry, you're Ian Harte. Dennis Irwin got injured. Paul Bosvelt, you remember the tackle? Roy,
in Europe Champions League.
Yeah, Roy had done his was it his ACL? Was it?
Cruciate, Leeds.
Trying to trip Haaland, so he was missing, and then Dennis Irwin got done by Bosvelt, and you remember Ferguson going mad at the touchline. He was like, "That's a fucking disgrace." So he was out. I remember in that game in a lashing, in a pissing wet, because it was about 2-3 week break between the two, and I think in that game he played centre half, and we were very unlucky. What are your memories of that game?
Yeah, I just remember them being a really good side, and obviously him being clinical at the top end of the park. And of course, obviously you get knocked out of any tournament, or potentially get into a tournament, disappointing for everyone. But I think it galvanised the group, if I'm being honest. Obviously, get so close, but we didn't make it. And obviously your players like Duff, obviously Roy Keane that came in, got more opportunities to play, and I think as a team then we went out, a group of younger lads with mixture of, obviously Stan was there, you had Jace was there, Babsy was there, obviously Matty Holland coming through, so like top players, you know what I mean, but weren't frightened of anything that kind of came in front of us, and we didn't fear nobody, whether we played home or away.
Yeah.
Because that Belgium game, that was the away goals rules was in then, so we were 10 minutes away from the World Cup. Because when it went to...
Oh, no, it was going extra time. Because it was 1-1. Because Ray Houghton...
Yeah, but I mean a goal would have...
If we had a goal...
It, like a goal, one goal away.
Yeah, and David
scored.
David Connolly got sent off. Ray Houghton got it was his last game for Ireland, and Townsend's last game for Ireland, and he got the header. And then they got a goal. And for years, I always thought that the Belgian goal came from what should have been an Irish throw-in. Because of the angle. Because back then they used to have the telecam. So for the Irish side, they'd have the camera here and have all the Irish sponsors, and for the home side, they'd have it over here, and because they'd have all the home sponsors. And for years, I think it's Oliveira. I'm not sure. Was it yourself where the ball it goes out? I think Kenny Cunningham playing that game.
Probably.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Anyway, and it went off the Belgian. It looked like it went off the Belgian player, but actually went off him. And for years, I always thought that we were screwed by the Belgian. But I found I got a clip of it from the Belgian side, and you can actually see it comes off the Irish player. And and he got the goal and broke everyone's heart.
Is that tough though? Like, could you imagine? Like, I don't know what it's like as a fan. Even like, say, example, we lose the playoff in March. We'll all be gutted for the whole summer, especially when the tournament kicks in. But you have to go back to your club after that, where you have to go back and try and get back into the mentality of playing top level club football, where you have to kind of switch off from an international mentality. Is it tough because you're obviously
that's your
heartbroken?
job, isn't it? Obviously, you have to take you're a fan of the.
Yeah, but is it a good distraction getting back to your club off, because it's that pain?
It does hurt. You know what I mean? You do come to summertime and you're like, potentially we're on holiday now, wherever the lads go on holiday, but they could also be in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're thinking, we're so close to it, but they're on holiday. So, you just have to dust yourself off as quickly as possible, because as soon as you go back to your club, there's another game coming up. And
it's probably a good way of getting it over it, is it? Straight back into your club.
I remember just being absolutely devastated with that, because you were so close. And Belgium, they were a good side. They were a very good side, and that was a great World Cup actually. France '98, and I think we could have done some damage. Obviously, we go on to the Euro, 2000. I think around this time, obviously, we've had the game. Since the playoff now, Robbie and Duff have come in. I think you guys are more seasoned. You've had your baptism of fire. Then we still have Dennis Irwin, but we've no Andy Townsend. We've no Paul. Had unfortunately left the year before. Basically you've got players like McCarthy. They've gone from being the babies of the squad to now
more senior.
They're now seniors, and Gary as well. Gary Kelly bumped up, and we had a really tough group. I remember we had Croatia, Yugoslavia, and ourselves, and then I think we had Malta and Macedonia. Of course, we'll get to Macedonia in a minute. And it was a really tough squad. I mean, Croatia had finished third in that World Cup, and we're starting off against them at home. And we got off to a great start. Dennis Irwin, Roy Keane, 2-0 win, and we think, oh, hello, bit of confidence going. That, obviously, we know what would happen with that group, but I mean, I think that team under Mick is really underestimated, really underrated, I should say. Yeah,
it was obviously you had. I'm just trying to think of it, depending on what games there was, who played in what position. But obviously Stan was a senior lad within that group as well. But obviously having someone like Roy Keane in your team, in any team, leading by example, demands it on the training pitch day in, day out. And obviously then you take it into a game situation. But the best thing for me was that on the way to Lansdowne Road, we would get on that bus, and having people like a Mick Bourne, he was the life and soul, obviously, especially on trips that you're away from home. Lads are obviously missing the family or whatever, but having someone like Mick, and obviously Charlie was there as well, and Tony Hickey, they lifted everyone's spirits, you know what I mean? So, and then you have someone like Roy demanding it, day in, day out, certain standards. He expects, obviously, coming from Manchester United, he doesn't like losing. He's used to winning. And that was the kind of mentality that he installed within the group.
What was it like in training? I mean, we've heard people talk about him in training where, you know, he just, when you, especially when you play beside him or around him, you know, he didn't just have his standards, he lifted your standards as well.
Yeah.
He just, you know, high tide lifts all boats, and he would get you playing out of your skin. Like, he just, you know, have you ever played with anyone like that before, with that sort of personality on the pitch?
Them players are no longer about.
Yeah.
There was only few of them really around at that time, and obviously football in general then was probably the best football ever for fans watching. Whether it was Roy playing against Arsenal, you had your Vieira, Petit, obviously Adams, but it was Chelsea, LeBouf, Desailly, proper leaders on the pitch. And to play, for me, I'll always say Roy is the best player I've played with. And I've played with some unbelievable players, but it comes down to demands, you know what I mean? He just didn't like losing. He wanted to be the best version of himself every single day, and he raised our game as well. And obviously the game that stands out for me was when we played against Holland at home, where Jason scored. 5 minutes into that game, he's absolutely come across and he's smashed over Miles. And it kind of
set the tone.
Does kind of like, right, we're in a game here, and they had a top team. And it kind of sets the tone, and we go on, and then we win the game, and then we have to go to obviously play Iran home and away. Won the game at home, we lost away from home, but yeah, Roy Keane is. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see another Roy Keane nowadays, because obviously so many cameras. Yeah,
I think technically, underrated as well. Like he was technically, like, what I mean, like, his technical ability is very underrated. Very good on the ball. Could drive forwards. He could tackle. He could shoot. He could pass. He could finish. You know,
he's got a lot of goals for Ireland in that campaign as well.
Yeah, but it comes, I think, from my generation of fans and the sort of thing. You just think if you never watched him, you'd think he's maybe a bit of a hatchet man. I know it sounds bad, and he was just a great leader, and he just run. People probably think he's a bit like what Henderson's like. Even though Henderson's obviously a good player, but you wouldn't say he's an elite technical player. But when you go back and you just watch compilations of Roy Keane playing individual matches, you can see he is elite technically, which I think is why it's kind of gone under the radar, because of his personality. People think if you're that good of a leader, you can't be that good of a footballer. Well, I'd say he actually was just that good in every aspect.
It was brilliant. Yeah.
Actually, there's a friend I have. His name's Paul. So if you're watching, Paul,
he won't be watching.
He will. Yeah, he will. Jesus. No, it's a friend of mine, Paul. No, it's a friend of mine, Paul, and he's a big Man United fan. And I've wound him up for years, because I had him believe that Jordan Henderson was a better player than Roy Keane. I had him believe in this, and he used to go, how can you believe that? I was just winding him up. So, Paul, if you watch it, it was a wind up.
Don't get me wrong, Jordan Henderson was a top player.
Oh yeah.
He still is. He's doing very well at the moment, actually.
But Roy Keane, all day, every day.
It shouldn't even be.
When you're playing like with Leeds, though, because Leeds are very competitive at that time as well.
Yeah.
And playing Champions League as well. What was it like playing in the Premier League against United and then meeting up with Roy in the next camp or anything? Like, was it anything, you know, because you, like, in your team talks for Leeds, are you thinking we've got to play against Roy here today? Or, you know, even other teammates as well, are you thinking, how did that work?
Obviously, going from club to international, you want to win the games of football. And not only that, the rivalry between Leeds and Manchester United, so I've never really understood it, because obviously Yorkshire and Lancashire, but there was a hatred, if you know what I mean, which I never really got, you know what I mean?
Gary Neville even says that today, doesn't he? He goes, I hate going to Ellen Road. They just hate me there.
Yeah. And it's just obviously that, especially when the fixtures come out at the start of each season, there is literally 2 games you're looking for, home and away, Manchester United. That was it. That's what you looked for. Obviously, you come into the game, and I mean, like, I've never seen security like it. Obviously, especially at Ellen Road and that. Back then, when you had the amount of trucks that were coming in with all the horses on, you're like, it was the whole week leading into it was very, very toxic. You know what I mean, because of the hatred. But obviously, when you meet up at Roy then on internet, it's like you switch over. Yeah. He wants to win as a captain of Manchester United. I want to win as a player of Leeds United, and obviously, you know what I mean. That's it. come on international. I respect him. He respects me. The main goal is to try and win a game for Republic of Ireland.
How did move to Leeds come about? Because obviously Leeds, for our generation, Leeds, massive club in Ireland.
Yeah.
Which I know, probably might surprise you a little bit because
Who do you support?
Man United.
That's all right.
Yeah, I was waiting for the luck.
No, because obviously like that generation is Johnny Giles, Bremer, and Jack Charlton, and all that. Dirty Leeds as they used to call them. But they were a very fine team as well. Who did you support as a kid?
Liverpool was my team when I was younger.
Leeds and
Ian Rush was my hero.
Good man.
Growing up, and he came towards the end of his career.
To
So I
Leeds,
got to
yeah.
play with my hero, and he was brilliant. Yeah, Rushy was so good.
And David Leary, of course, as well.
Yeah.
Because of injury, he can only make a handful of appearances.
It was Howard Wilkinson gave me the opportunity to play. I signed for Leeds as a striker.
Really?
Yeah, Gary
What
Kelly
year was
signed
that?
as a striker. I don't know, Martin. I'd probably say it was probably around about 97.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that you went from St Kevin's? Was it from
St Kevin's to
Is
to Leeds. So Gary Kelly was there. Who's obviously my uncle. Kel signed as a striker from Home Farm, converted to a right back. I signed as a striker from Kevin's, converted to a left back. My blistering pace, like Aguero up top, drove me further and further back. So see, Kel's at right back, me at left back. But yeah, there was a good load of Irish lads that were going over there at the time. Was Steve McPhail. I remember actually Robbie Keane came over on trial, and they said he was too small.
Really?
4 years later, they bought him for 12 million quid from Inter Milan.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And that scout got fired, I presume.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Go ahead.
Who do you think was a better striker, Robbie Keane or John Aldridge? Who had a better career? Who was the better player?
No. Hold on. Who's a better striker? That was your first
Yeah,
question.
but that is better. Who's a better player?
No.
I loved Aldo, but me personally, I would have to say Robbie Keane.
Yeah, a certain someone on this table was.
But you were a lot younger.
Yeah, but I like the eye test other than just.
I only
stats.
got to really see Aldo towards the end.
Yeah.
And Aldo, give him half a chance, it was in the back of the net, if you know what I mean. So,
Yep.
obviously, for
But
Irish football, and you know what I mean, the career he
I
had.
like to watch players with my eyes rather than stats like that man. over there.
No, you don't actually.
do?
This lad watches football with a calculator.
But
but
I'd say John Aldridge was amazing as well. But obviously, I grew up with Robbie, kind of similar kind of age, and listen, his track record
He's
speaks
just-
for itself.
we did
doesn't it?
what we did was we did an advent calendar. So this is coming out on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I forgot to say that. Forgot to say that.
Happy Christmas.
Are you going to say
No.
Happy Christmas? Are you going to say Merry Christmas? Ian?
Merry Christmas.
Good man. Merry Christmas. Yeah. He said
Merry
happy
Christmas to you as well, Ian.
Cheers.
Yeah.
lads.
Yeah, Merry
Hope Santa
Christmas.
came.
He said Happy Christmas, and I scolded him. I was like, no, don't say Happy Christmas. Say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
So we did this thing like Best Ireland Strikers. They went with Robbie Keane, I went with John Aldridge. And you want to see it in absolutely tore them up, just take my word for it, tore them apart in the
Stats
argument.
don't lie.
Yeah,
Stats,
they
yeah.
don't lie, no. Right.
No.
That's why
Stats don't lie.
My stats don't lie. There's lying constantly.
we don't want to bring up some of the other controversial takes you've said over the last couple of months.
We'll have a chat about that
Yeah,
later.
we'll tell you
Well,
later.
long
Yeah, I don't want to
After
say
a few baby Guinness,
you,
might get
want to hear
different
some of
answers.
these.
Sorry, Chris
takes.
Hutton, what side?
Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Don't-
he
we don't
thought
wanna
Chris
say
Hutton
about-
was a right back.
We don't want to say about Omar
Just
Bamidele.
on your set pieces,
Yeah.
I'll get this back on track. How much work did you put into them? Like you famously.
Not, believe it or not, obviously, I think probably being a striker, you had kind of a knack for scoring goals. I used to try and, like, especially the night before a game, you'd practice on the training pitch, you know what I mean? 10 minutes after training. It wasn't for like hours and hours. Trying to visualise of, like, if I'm on the left-hand side, the right-hand side of the box, and slowly you're trying to build up your technique. The better you get at it, you can add a bit more pace on it and spin on it. And yeah,
It's like a lost art in a way, isn't it? You don't see money now.
well, nowadays you see players go up and try and leather it as hard as they can to get it to kind of dip down. But now, for me, I tried to go up and whip them into top corners. You know what I mean? Or whipping them across the wall into the reverse and the kind of backwards on the goalkeeper. So I think my stats. Obviously, I love Beck's.
Yeah.
David Beckham, unbelievable player, and the goals he scored for Manchester United, England. People always used to say it was me or Beck's, obviously being the best at that time. But I think my stats were a bit, well, better than his, but he would take more free kicks.
Yeah.
Ratio.
Ratio, and obviously I would score, but and then people look at someone like Ronaldo or Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos is like one of the best, if not the best, left backs ever. But he's known for the goal against France, where there's a guy behind. But
That's
it's one goal.
Yeah.
Ronaldo was known for scoring
Ronaldo's free
goals
kicks.
and hitting them and getting the knuckle on it, but obviously he doesn't score that many now. Where you look at the free kicks that I scored back then, if I was Brazilian, I probably would have been pushed higher up that chart, because you're Republic of Ireland or you're not England or whatever. Yeah,
because we actually had a chat about fullbacks as well on Advent Calendar. We were talking about your free kick stats. I think you got 10 in the Premier League. Beckham got 18. There was a point there where you and Beckham were like literally neck and neck.
Yeah.
He was the best right-footed free kick taker. You were the best left-footed free kick taker in the Premier League. As you say, like you don't really have that anymore. Like I can remember Thomas Hassler. I can remember obviously
Thomas
Hassler.
Hassler.
He used to take the. He was the free kick taker for Germany. All these teams.
Small little one.
Yeah,
number 10 was he? Sure he was.
Number 10 was number. Yeah, it was one of those.
1860 Munich. Did he play for them?
Possibly.
Yeah.
But I'll take your word for it. I just remember Euro '92, and I remember like he'd either hit the crossbar or it was always on target. Beckham, yourself, these free kick specialists. But yeah, as you say, I think Ronaldo just made it Hollywood, didn't he?
No,
But Beckham took so many, like you're saying. Like if you think of that Greece game when he scored the goal to qualify for the World
And
Cup.
that day I scored that.
Yeah,
he scored it,
Cyprus.
and I scored the same. Yeah.
But he took about 5 or 6 that day. And he blazed them into the Stretford end and things like that.
That was your first one of the day. It was like early in the game, wasn't it? It was like 4 or 5 minutes into it, and then Quinn got the record, didn't he, that day as well? But yeah.
So he took a lot more.
Yeah, because it was normally one or two in a game that you might get. You look at the game against where Brian had left me out for some time, and we played against Israel. Remember the free kick he scored? It was like 35 yards out, right into the top bins. Game finished 2-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's when their goalkeeper got.
So normally when it was decent enough areas, like
you'd be confident enough
to put them in the back.
Because Dennis had a good record.
For me, Dennis was so good naturally. Like when it was left foot, right foot, and you're going, what foot is he? Dennis was like a freak because he was that good.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Was
he's
so
an interesting
reliable.
character though, Dennis, isn't he? Like people going about Roy like being so good at Man United and a big character.
Yeah.
And Dennis, like Sir Alex Ferguson will say how consistent he was.
Yeah, but
Just for
Dennis
Connor,
was just quiet though, wasn't he?
Yeah,
show
but
us
like,
your passports.
did you ever see Dennis demand a certain way or just lose it?
Well, Dennis was at Leeds.
Yeah.
When he was younger, and the man and woman that in digs that I was in, Kath and Trev, they're sadly not with us no more. But Dennis came through that house as well. So he used to come to the house and that, and Dennis was like unbelievable.
Isn't it mad that Leeds let Dennis Irwin go on a free to Oldham?
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
On a free to Oldham. That's mad.
Did John Sheridan leave Leeds as well?
Yes, Chez was in that house as well.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's because they were waiting for Ian to come through. That's why.
They were big Man U fans. The people that we lived
yeah.
with. So they had the two Weimaranas. One was Jojo. After is it Joe Jordan? Was he at Man United?
Yeah, and Leeds. Joe Jordan.
Yeah, and Keno after. Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, brilliant.
And they used to go over to a load of the games in the players' lounge because Dennis had sorted tickets for them. Yeah.
Ah, nice.
With Leeds, obviously, I think Howard goes, and then I think George Graham comes in, and David O'Leary's his assistant, and then George goes to Spurs, I think, and then David O'Leary steps in, and David O'Leary has some success. It was David the one that gave you? Was it Howard that gave you your debut for Leeds?
Yes.
And were you sort of in and out of the team at that stage, or?
When Howard brought us in, yes, but then when George took over that following season, David Robertson from Rangers, he was at Leeds, he got injured, and I got an opportunity obviously playing at left back. First game of the season, we played away at Derby, I'm sure we finished 3-3. I cut in on my right foot, young 18-year-old, and smacked at my right foot into the bottom corner. So that was kind of the start of it, and that's obviously when Rushy was in the team, But then George was he was about organising the defence. We didn't concede many goals, but we didn't score many goals. I think that year, we only scored around about 26, 27 goals, I think it was.
Jesus.
But we survived and then obviously built on from that, yeah.
And then obviously, I remember when he went to Spurs and people were saying, oh, he's only trying to get revenge against Arsenal because he went out in controversial circumstances. David O'Leary comes in, and I mean, obviously an Irish legend. What was that like, having him?
I just think it was perfect time for David. Obviously taking over a team that George had installed in defensively. Like, if I'm a left back and the right winger has it, pushing out, vice versa, the two left side centre back, right side centre back, and the right back would shuffle it like an elastic band. If the ball moved over the other side, he just made the structure of the team a hell of a lot better. And then Dave O'Leary came in. He kind of tweaked a few little things, but I think the players then, like your Harry Kewells, had obviously a year more experience playing. Lee Bowyer was at the club as well, and Bo was like an unbelievable player. And I just think that the right type of players that the club brought in, senior lads that kind of helped us younger lads as well, and that's when it kind of kicked off. Especially David brought in Eddie Gray as assistant manager, and Eddie was our U-team manager. So to move up to the first team and then all of a sudden have Eddie still there helped us massively as well.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be understated how good that was a hell of a Leeds team. Yourself, Gary on the right. You had Robbie Keane at one stage, Viduka, who was an absolute beast.
Eric Backer, Lee Bowyer, Olivier Dacour, Lucas Radaby, Jonathan Woodgate. Obviously, Rio was there for a year. Danny Mills was there. You had Jason Wilcox, who's now playing on the left wing. Lee Sharp, like some quality players.
It was an outstanding team. Like, really, probably should have challenged
and
more.
he took the pressure off you. It was. It used to annoy me as a Man United fan.
What did?
When he used to always call you his kids, like, oh, they're young.
Oh, the Busby, yeah.
Oh, right.
Like, because it just.
Busby Bays.
Kept kind of. It was like justifying.
I think it's good management.
Ferguson
did exactly the same.
Yeah.
He would do whatever it was to take the pressure off his players.
That was it. That was my question. It was like that just took the pressure off you, and you could just play and.
Yeah.
But good big leaders in that team though. Like, you think of Lee Sharp's experience coming under. Yeah. Obviously Ferguson again.
Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah. I respect the man. Sorry. And Sharpie, what was he like then? Because he's a good.
Yeah, obviously, for him leaving Man United, coming to Leeds, he was top, and he suited the environment as well. You know what I mean? The lads obviously made him feel very welcome, like any players that were coming to the team. But obviously, vice versa, when players were going from Leeds to United, obviously Rio made it, and then Alan Smith made it a few years later. It's probably hurts a bit more. Not saying it doesn't hurt with Rio, because obviously he was only there for a year. But with Smithy, he'd come through, obviously Leeds lad, come through the youth team, and then went to Man United. So it's.
I remember when Rio Ferdinand was signed. That was a big signing for you guys. £18 million, I believe, from West Ham. World record for a defender, I believe. And then he goes like bit over a year later, he goes to Man United for 30 million. I mean, to lose a player that quality, and especially to see what he achieved at Man United, did that affect you guys as a group and think, oh Christ, like, because it happened with Cantona, didn't it, going to Leeds in 92.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it affected us, but now I don't know if it's 100% kind of true, but I think when Leeds signed Rio, I think it was a consortium of people that bought Rio Ferdinand for Leeds United.
Okay.
The following year, he gets sold for 30 million quid. Don't think Leeds saw any of that money.
Right, yeah. Because financially, Leeds, it was a bit of a mess, wasn't it, in the background?
Yeah, it wasn't great. Yeah. It wasn't great at all. And obviously, it's not up to us to obviously. No. These are meant to be clever people behind the scenes, and when you're going 30 million in debt, 40 million, like, to let it go to over 100 and whatever million, it's
and you lose the stadium, and which they only got back. They got it back, didn't they? The stadium.
Sure, they have now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ken Bates got it back, or
for a pound.
For a pound.
I'm a businessman.
But obviously, that was a phenomenal Leeds team. Got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Did you think you guys were going to kick on? To
be honest, it's disappointing we didn't win anything. Well, the year before the Champions League, we got semi-finals of the UEFA Cup.
That's right.
Played the Galatasaray, and So I did a thing in Ellen Road only last week, and realistically, the game shouldn't have been played.
Yeah.
Like we were forced by FIFA to play that game. We weren't in the right frame of mind. If that happened in this day and age, there's not a chance any. So I think the management team and obviously the owners, whether it was Peter Ridsdale, should have took the pressure off us and says, you are not playing.
Yeah.
Whatever will be. If FIFA kick us out, they kick us out. We're doing it for the right reasons. They didn't. Obviously, we played that game. We got to the stadium 2 hours before the game. Now, we are watching in the hotel the night before the game. We can see all the Leeds fans running through Istanbul. So obviously, had the news crews out. And literally, like it was kicking off. And you're thinking, we were getting phone calls in the hotel room of Galatasaray fans. So you land there on the plane. You get out to get on the bus. There was thousands. It was the most intimidating atmosphere I've ever experienced.
Welcome to
then
hell.
you get to the stadium 2 hours before, and it's full. It's literally flares, welcome to hell, and you're like, this is the last place I want to be. Knowing that
What happened?
two fans have gone to a game of football
Yeah.
and lost their lives, and obviously other fans had been stabbed as well.
Yeah.
So, if anything, they should have been chucked out.
Yeah.
But we were forced to play a game of football. So you just
You
try and make sense of that.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. I still made them play.
I mean, when you look at Heisel and you think, how did that match ever happen? You guys shouldn't have played either.
And even then, obviously, we got beat 2-0. Now, they had a great team anyway, but I think in a different scenario, I think us in the right frame of mind, I think definitely
Would have got
we
results.
would have upset them. And obviously, then you play the home leg, you're still in shock. It's still it's like.
Yeah.
And that was 2-2 that game, so it is what it is. Yeah.
Well, what's it like actually in the Champions League? Because it's something you dream as a kid, isn't it? You grew up just being there and hearing the music as such.
Yeah, well, that
must
for
be
me,
special.
it's kind of pinch yourself moment.
Yeah.
You wait to see what the draw is, and then you find out. Because back then it was like the groups. Obviously, it's changed now. That's not over the years.
Yeah.
Go through one group, qualify, and you go into another group. And our very first game was away at Barcelona. And as you go into obviously new camp, it's obviously changed now. I can imagine the chapel is still there. As you go out onto the pitch, on the right-hand side in the tunnel, there's a chapel. So quite a lot of the lads went in and said a prayer. Didn't fucking walk, did they? we got stuff 4-0. I think I was playing left wing that night. It was like a makeshift team, patched up and whatever. But yeah, from that lesson we got, then we played, I'm sure, Besiktas at home. We beat them 7-1, I think it was, in the next game. So kind of like, well, we've done so much to get to the Champions League. It's going to be over as quick as it started if we don't sort ourselves out. And from then we qualified. I think there was also AC Milan. And obviously at that time, the court case was going on with Bowe and Jonathan Woodgate.
Yeah.
And Bowe was coming out of court and playing the best football he ever played for Leeds United. So obviously we qualified, and I think, we've done well to get through that group, and then we've gone from the group of death to the next group, and obviously Real Madrid are in it. And you're like, for fuck's sake. So, and then we qualified through that, and we then played quarterfinals against Deportivo, who were unbelievable, top end of La Liga, and for me, it's probably the best game I've ever been involved in. Packed Ellen Road, midweek game, walking out, you see the music, Champions League music, you're like, this is what's every young kid's dream. And free kick in the edge of the box. Molina, who was a goalkeeper for Deportivo, actually later on in my career, I went to Levante. He was goalkeeper at Levante, so we obviously talked about it. I go, that free kick got stuck by here. But that game, obviously, I scored an unbelievable free kick, and 2 of the goals, I put one on Smithy's head and one on Rio's head, and 3-0 we won. Away leg, we got battered 2-0, and then we had Valencia. So we played quite a few top end Spanish teams, and Valencia, top team. They had Ayala, Angulo, Mendieta, Canizares. Trying to think, what's it? Sanchez, the little guy up front, little cheat. Scored the first goal at his hand. It was nil. John Carew, wasn't it? But obviously 0-0 at home. went away from home, first goal in any game. He's obviously flicked it in with his hand. We lost the game, got beat by the better team on the night, and that was the end of the journey for us. But sadly, with a group of players that we had, if we had have won something, I think we would have won a hell of a lot.
I think so, yeah. It was a fabulous team, really. Around this time, you were linked with Milan and Barcelona.
Yeah.
Around the time, what happened there? Did you not want to go? Did it fall through? Did you?
No, well, there was interest, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a game where we played against Newcastle. So Bobby Robson was the manager at Newcastle at the time, and in the tunnel at Ellen Road, he says, like, when are you going to come and sign for us? So, but Leeds United was the club I only wanted to be at because I've come through from the academy with a load of my teammates.
Yeah.
And obviously, we were smashing it, if you know what I mean. It was a great place to be. Club was moving in the right direction. There was no other club I wanted to be at.
That's fair.
So
until the financial disaster,
So
and then everyone had to go.
Are you saying you turned down Barcelona to stay at Leeds United?
I didn't say I turned them down, did I? No, you put a words in my mouth. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I wasn't even open to listening to anything else.
So you turned down Barcelona.
Was there any, like you said, Newcastle, like Bobby Robson chatting to you?
Yeah.
Sir Bobby Robson, is that right?
It's alright when he says it, don't
Do you, any other Premier League teams coming ever, or like linked with you? that you
Yes.
thought? Yeah. Man United? No, you don't. See.
Just wanted to say that.
Game.
You can't go to them.
No, you can't. Even I know you can't do that.
Yeah.
It
It was good enough for Cantona, alright?
Yeah.
And Alan Smith, who said he'd never go, but that's another story.
Well, Alan Smith went back as well, though, didn't he? He was good, Alan Smith.
Did he go back?
Yeah, he ended up back at Leeds, didn't he? After
Did he?
United. Yeah, he went back.
I don't remember
A bit
that.
later, yeah.
Fair enough. So
Newcastle, I think.
They
obviously,
got Daniel James. That was the return for Cantona.
James, yeah.
so obviously, you know, you go to Levante at the end. How did that come about? Was that during the financial crisis? Was it? And
Yeah, it was. It was Leeds just got relegated, and I had a villa over in Spain at the time down in Porto-Banús, and my agent, he had a place down there as well, and he says, "How would you like to play in Spain next year?" I went, "Well." He says, "Levante." I went, "Who the fuck are they?" Because obviously nobody had kind of known much about them, and flew up to Valencia, which is a lovely part of the world, 3 hours down the coast from Barcelona, and went out to the training ground, which was a place called Buñol, which was literally mostly a training complex, but it's where they have the tomato festival. And end up going back, and I says, no chance, I'm not. Went back to Leeds United, and Kevin Blackwell was the manager at the time, and he says, like, there was 2 other left backs there that weren't anywhere on the level I was on, and obviously I come back so fit, obviously doing my pre-season in Spain, and he just says, if you stay here, you're not going to play. It's going to kill your international football. I think it's best that you move. And obviously they had to get lads off the wage bill, and I ended up making the move.
sad, isn't it, when that happens?
Well, it is, because obviously club that I love playing for,
Yeah.
I could have jumped ship earlier on, but I didn't want to, and then you're forced out the door because of
Poor decisions.
these people that are meant to be clever with money have pissed it up the wall, really.
No, I mean, it was very sad what happened to Leeds in the end. You know, I can remember when Leeds won the league under Howard Wilkinson.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I remember they stopped United, which was great. And you know, it's a great club, and then bit of a dip. David O'Leary brings back the good times, really challenging, and then, you know, it just kind of falls apart. No, it was very sad. Just going back to Ireland with the Euro 2000 squad qualifying campaign, did you guys, I mean, the amount of bad luck that you guys had was incredible. You know, you're in a fixture list with Macedonia, Yugoslavia, Croatia. There's a war going on. Fixtures are getting moved around, you know, stuff's getting abandoned. Ireland are on the verge of being kicked out because they wouldn't allow the Yugoslavian team in because of...
Is that right?
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, they were supposed to play Yugoslavia in June, and basically the Irish government and the EU and the UN said, do not allow the Yugoslavian team in, give them visas. So the FAI went, okay, because it's come from top, and then FIFA are like, oh, you can't do that because, you know, football politics, which is ironic.
Yeah, but that's not down to the FAI.
Exactly. They got fined.
Yeah,
I think they got fined 50,000 Swiss francs in the end. So.
When you think about it, how it's like what?
Yeah, it was crazy, and like you know,
the government aren't letting them in. So what can the Irish football team do?
Exactly.
It's nothing you could do. It was crazy, and obviously we've beaten Croatia at home. We lost Yugoslavia 1-0 away in Belgrade. Very unlucky there in that game as well. And then we play. We've beaten Macedonia. We beat them at home 1-0, was it? I think 2-0. I can't quite remember that one. But then we go to. We play Yugoslavia at home in the arranged fixture, the 2-1. The one where do you remember Mark Kennedy gets like an absolute thunderbolt, like he smashed it just under the crossbar, and it was really, you know, you felt we were on the verge of something special. And then we go to Croatia. Did you play in the game in Zagreb where literally it was 0-0 and the referee gave 5 minutes, and if we got the draw, Croatia were out and we had a playoff guaranteed? It was like the last kick of the game, ball over the top, and Davor Šuker guessed the goal. And
was it?
Yeah, it was on. They had a thing called the TV3 course. I'm not sure if you heard about this.
Oh yeah, it was on TV3. Yeah.
So RT had all the rights to all the games beforehand, but TV3 got the rights to all the away matches. And any time we played in TV3, like it was just we were shit, like, we were done out of it. And the Yugoslavia game, the 1-0, the game against Croatia, where it was literally like seconds left and we were on the verge of getting a playoff and all of that. It was just
I never knew about that. No.
Yeah, and then of course the game against Macedonia in Skopje, where we were 13 seconds away from qualifying for the European Championships, and that was also on TV3 as well.
Right.
You guys must have thought, like, Jesus Christ, like what have we done here? Because just had no luck whatsoever during that campaign.
You make your own luck, though, don't you? It's like, game's only finished when the referee blows the whistle, so we'll see. Yeah, it's frustrating, but there's nothing you can kind of change about it, you know what I mean? Obviously saying about superstition of TV3 or whatever it was, I was like, that's news to me.
Yeah.
I've never ever heard of it before.
Yeah, no, I think it was real.
Yeah, it was real.
Yeah.
Well, very superstitious.
Very well. I mean, we're right. You know, we are superstitious. Yeah. No, it was absolutely heartbreaking.
TV3, have they been doing the last 10 years of Irish football? And only just recently stopped them. Was that?
They did show the 5-2 drubbing against Cyprus. To be fair, so I'm just saying, just putting it out there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no, I remember. Obviously now, you know, we got through that, and then the World Cup, you know, it's a mixed third campaign. There's a bit of pressure on them, and to be fair, the FEI stick with them because they can see, you know, they can see the progress, and you could see the team was improving, it was getting better, and we were very unlucky in that group. So you stick with them, and there was kind of talk that
it was Portugal in that group, wasn't it?
Portugal, the Dutch, it was Cyprus,
because we drew
Estonia.
Portugal away, wasn't it?
We had the Dutch 2-2 against
2-2 up. We were 2 up, were we?
2 up. And
I played in that game, yeah.
You did, yeah. And then it was the 1-1 against Portugal.
Yeah.
What were your memories of that game? Because there's a lot of stories that come out about that game and the cheese sandwiches and all that. Did you ever hear that?
No.
But apparently...
don't believe everything.
It's the Roy Keane preparation, isn't it?
The preparation.
This is like, you know, about team meals, and do you think Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's eating fucking sandwiches? Basically, just Roy was kicking off about the food, like, you know, because I think he had pasta, you know, it had everything, didn't have the best of everything, and he was kicking off, and then that famous quote came out, like, do you think the Dutch are eating cheese sandwiches?
Because apparently he wasn't going to make himself available for that campaign because of the Euro.
Who?
Roy.
Oh, right.
And then Mick had to go. This is according to Roy's book.
Yeah.
So it is out there. The Way I See It, I think it's called, the one with Dunphy. And he said he wasn't going to be in that campaign, and then Mick went out to his house and said, look, we're going to do everything properly, you know, don't worry about it, I get it, etc. And he said, right, I'll come on for another campaign.
I mean, it's a tough group, wasn't it?
It was ridiculous.
What seeds were we? We're second seeds?
No, would have been third. Easily. Like the Dutch.
To be honest, we should have beat the Dutch.
Yeah. We were magnificent.
We should have beat
them.
We were brilliant, weren't we?
Yeah.
The Portuguese curse was there though as well. Like that's the Portuguese don't have a good record.
Yeah.
To be honest, we should have beat Portugal as well. When you're looking at the games, you're going...
like it was a ridiculous group. And we had the Dutch first in Amsterdam, 2-0 up. brilliant for the first 60 odd minutes. And on Kevin Kilbane, I love Kevin Kilbane, but what people don't remember, we're 2-0 up, we're 2-1 up, and he goes down the other end. He's 1-on-1 with Van der Sar, and he hits it wide. And 3-1, you're thinking that's it. That's it. We're done. And then of course Van Bronckhorst hits an absolute bullet, goes over Alan Kelly's head. There's no chance. Then we go to Portugal, and to be fair, that was a super Portugal team as well. In the old
top,
unreal. The old Benfica Stadium, Stadium Light. We outside it there a couple of months ago, and Matt Holland comes on. I remember the last time I saw Matt Holland come on was against Macedonia, where we're 1-0 down. I was like, what's this guy coming on for? And then he scores an absolute worldly Victor Baez.
That scored some
really
so important goals for Ireland. Obviously, game stands out as well. Cameroon, wasn't it?
Yeah,
great goal.
Superb.
I mean, nearly did it against Germany. We were saying that yesterday.
He almost scored a
identical goal,
carbon copy when we 1-0 down against Germany, the daisy cutter. Obviously, that campaign, Estonia as well, were no mugs. We come through unbeaten, first time since the Euro '92 campaign. We'd finished the campaign undefeated. And we beat the Dutch at home, and we talked about it earlier on. But I mean,
I played in every game of that.
You did.
You did,
campaign. Yeah, you did. Yeah,
you did. I mean,
first time. What did you say? First time unbeaten.
Unbeaten since the Euro '92 campaign.
I think that's what we're trying to.
It's common thread with you, Ian.
Common denominator there.
Yeah. You should have played '92, Ian, as well. I mean, that campaign, was really tough, and of course we had the must not lose game against the Dutch. What are your memories of that day? Because you were at it. Were you at it?
No.
It was unbelievable.
He wasn't even born yet. I was at U2 at Slane watching it on the big screen, and they showed the first half highlights, and I was like, "Fucking hell!" I had no idea what score it was.
Because the Dutch team was wasn't it? It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'll go back to we're getting on the hotel. I'm sure at that time we weren't in Portmarnock Hotel. We were still at Dublin Airport Hotel. I'm sure we were. Where we are not.
Maldron. Was it Maldron?
Yeah, the Maldron now. Yeah. We used to get on that. And to be honest, a lot of the games before we went to the stadium, Larry Mullen used to come to the hotel.
Yeah.
More so when we moved to Portmarnock. And all the best lads, and I'm like, well, this Larry Mullen, you too, isn't it? It's like, but as soon as that door would close, Mick Bourne would be on the bus, he'd be up dancing or whatever. The Rebel songs would start. And I mean, you were getting off that bus at Lansdowne Road, feeling 10 foot tall, thinking, we are not losing today. Fucking no chance of the Dutch coming to our patch. We are going to turn them over. And obviously 5 minutes into the game, we've talked about it already. Roy sets a tone, Overmars, bang. Kind of everyone's like, right, fucking here we go. And we go on and win the game. And what a finish by Jace.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, super. I mean, obviously, did you give your uncle stick? Because he had to have a nightmare that day, didn't he? Got sent off.
Things happen in football, and that's it. You win as a team, you lose as a team. And that's what you have to kind of galvanise, and you have to get through difficult moments. And we did.
Yeah.
I
remember watching that thing, oh, Christ. And then he brought off Robbie Keane, put on Steve Finnan. And he actually set up the goal. That was one thing that always gets underestimated with Mick, is that his substitutions, he
a knack of them,
he just got a knack of them. He was superb, and great ball by Finnan, and then great finish by McAteer. Obviously, we have the game against Cyprus. I think we had to win something like 23-0 to beat them, because they battered. I think beat Estonia like 7-0 or something. The Portuguese. So we go to the playoff, and of course, we win 2-0. You get a penalty. Beautiful.
They were a good team.
They were good.
And to be honest, they probably should have gone ahead.
How good was Shea giving?
Shea was that night, only for Shea, because we won the game 2-0, wasn't it? But Shea made some unbelievable saves to keep us in the game. Obviously win the game 2-0, score a penalty, and you're like, brilliant. But then it was hostile. You go over there, and it was like, I'm sure were you at the game?
No.
But I'm sure even all the kind of the ladies that went to press, they had to wear all the, I don't know what the name is, a hijab. Yeah. But it was like the stadium was packed, mostly men, and obviously we lost the game 1-0, but meant that we qualified, and celebrations and fun and laughter.
When you had to, when the plane took off and you had to leave Iranian airspace,
then
so you could pop out the drinks. So that was some fly home.
Well, I wasn't on that flight.
Oh, you know.
God, yeah.
No. So Leeds had sent over a private jet to pick up Kells, Robbie and myself, because we had obviously a game that weekend against Sunderland away from home. So we got our own private jet back. So we didn't get to party or celebrate with the other lads. So we played Sunderland the weekend and we got beat. And that plane cost over 100 grand to take us back.
That's where the Leeds money went. But you missed Noel Quinn.
wonder they're in debt.
Noel Quinn was singing on the flight and everything, wasn't he?
Yeah, you could have got a Ryanair flight over. Yeah, no, fantastic. I remember just thinking, like, surely 3 times. I remember Mick at the end, he was so emotional. He was in tears, you know. And we were all in tears because you thought what happened in Euro 2000 was a disgrace in so many levels, like the Turkey game and all that. And finally, you know, we'd qualified. Speaking of the World Cup, we touched on it earlier on. Obviously, you played every minute. I know you played in all the games, sorry, not every minute of the World Cup. Obviously, before we get there, we don't want to, because it's been done to death, Saipan and all that. But I mean, how did you, what did you make of that?
Listen, I respect Mick obviously giving me my opportunity to represent the country. I respect Roy Keane. Played with him, legend, leader. So I respect both points of view. Could have been handled better by both parties, I think, yes. Mick isn't under the plane putting the stuff on. But of course, when you're going there and you're preparing for a World Cup, you expect certain standards. Obviously, like Mick's not there to cut the grass, but the grass had grown. Obviously, the kit hadn't made its way, so should have been there really. But either guys are not under the plane putting the balls and boots and everything on. So it wasn't ideal kind of scenario, and I think things could have been. I think probably if it happened again, I'm sure things probably would have been sorted.
With the media attention it got at the time as well, like the country kind of just come to a standstill in Ireland, you know, there was talk about it in government levels and everything. You were away from that though, because you were obviously in Saipan and time zones, and, you know, Tony O'Donoghue's doing his, press conference, well, he's doing his updates for the news and things like that. Were you worried though about any backlash? Like, because obviously I was going over there as a fan, and we were just so disappointed Roy wasn't there. But I think, did it galvanise the group then, thinking we just move on?
We didn't get to know what was going on because obviously we can't see what's going on back in Ireland. You know what I mean? So, or whatever had been said. Obviously, we can't see none of the papers out there anyway. So, although there was loads of press there, you know what I mean? We did mingle with the press quite a bit, but didn't really know anything about it until Mick called a meeting, which everyone was in the meeting, and it kind of got a bit heated, and from there kind of the decision was made, and then Roy was going to go home. So obviously when everyone kind of sliding in the chairs going, I can't believe what's just happened, because obviously I think if we had Roy Keane in that team, I think we definitely would have beat Spanish. Mm-hmm. We would have had the Red Devils, which was South Korea. We would have beaten them. Yeah.
Possibly
potentially
Brazil,
we could have got the semi-finals.
Yeah, I think we would have played Brazil in the semi-finals. You don't know.
And a one-off game, you just don't know.
No.
So could we have gone further? I think we could have gone further than what Jack's team could have. I do. I honestly believe that. Obviously, people say, "Oh, you missed your penalty." I don't go out to try and miss a penalty. I barely ever miss penalties, because I always score goals. So it's like, I changed my mind. Yeah. Keeper saved it. We got another penalty. Robbie scored it. Went to penalties. We got knocked out in penalties. But we were better than the Spanish that night.
Yeah, we were magnificent. And the football we played under Mick during that World Cup was outstanding as well. People said off air, like, where you see Shay giving, he's rolling it out to yourself or the fullback, and you go, Jesus, we were playing proper football. Duff on the wing as well in that game against Spain. It was superb.
Oh, it was unbelievable. But obviously when it kicked off, we all then went to our rooms, and I was 2 rooms away from where Roy was in his room. Obviously I've always looked up to him anyway. He's the captain of our team. We had, obviously, you had Quinny there, you had Stan there, you had Alan Kelly, a few kind of senior lads.
Kenny Cunningham was there as well.
Obviously, but most of the lads were like younger kind of lads, if you know what I mean. Obviously, Roy was the captain, and I knocked on his door. He went, "Harte, come in." I says, "Roy," I says, like, "I've never been to a World Cup, any tournament like this, and obviously playing for my country." I says, like, "You're our captain, our leader. I think you can help us, like, deal with it, or whatever." And he says, "Nah, I really appreciate it, but I'm going to go home and walk the dog." And sure enough, he did.
Yeah.
I think Roy is a very, very loyal person. I think if you cross him, it might not be a year, 2 years. I think he'll end up seeing you and having words with you. Also, maybe because at that point I went in and knocked on his door. Now I don't know how many books he's got, but I'm in one of his books, and obviously he mentioned a player came to see me. It was me. And then I think he's the type of person that when I was out in Spain, I come back from Spain, he signed me at Sunderland. Probably because he thought, you know what, fair play. You've had the balls come and see me, and that's it.
Yeah, you know, and I think it's understandable. Obviously, you want to play in a World Cup. You know, I'd imagine you've seen your manager and your captain, you know, having this fight. It must be heartbreaking. You're thinking, oh God, you know.
Biggest story of the World Cup.
Oh yeah, it was, of course. Yeah.
Do you know
when it died down? Then, like you know, ultimately you arrive in Chiba City for it was
Nagata, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then you're there and you go off to the first game. And like, what was it like just walking out? Like, because
the hotel that we were in, obviously, then, so we were all in there prepping. The train ground was literally just down. There was an Irish festival going on outside the hotel. The wives and girlfriends, they were meant to move into a hotel in the middle of Tokyo. They moved in, they were like, it was meant to have been an absolute shambles. The flight that was organised to come out, there was barely any toilets walking, there was barely any like water for it. So it was a mess. So we were kind of putting out fires before the first game. And then the Italian team, they were meant to be in a hotel probably around about 300 yards from where our hotel were. Anyway, the wives and girlfriends ended up getting moved in there. So we got to see them quite a bit. And yeah, obviously going first game, it's all new, isn't it? Because obviously never been at a World Cup. But the nerves and everything, obviously you're playing against Cameroon. Obviously we got Germany and it was... Saudi Arabia. Yeah. First game, losing the game 1-0, and then Matty scores. Second game, you're like, Germany were unbelievable. Losing the game, it was close, wasn't it? Scored the goal.
Yep.
And
Scored.
then
they'd hammered the Saudis, hadn't they?
Yeah.
8-0 or something.
So all of a sudden you're like, bloody hell, like. And I had a bit of an injury, so obviously I used to wear boots quite tight, and I had a problem with my foot. So in pretty much every game I'd start the games, but then I got took off. But obviously, long ball up to Niall Quinn, and it reminds me so much of the Tri-Parrot goal. Yeah. Quinny's flicked it down to Robbie and sticks it in the back of the net, and then you see the game, and you're like, oh my, isn't it?
It was the exact same.
It was like...
It showed you the footage.
Well, the footage and the noise of a girl coming out.
It was genuine. What can I say?
But to be honest, like these are the moments that... This is the reason why you support Republic of Ireland or the players, like why you play football, for moments like that.
Well, it was genuine. It's not one of these lads that say, right lads, on the count of 3, click, and then you start. It was a genuine high-pitched reaction.
But that moment, Robbie's goal, that was because we were out, basically. We were very close to being out. We hadn't got that result.
Yeah.
And then I just remember then being in the stadium and you know, the players coming over to the fans afterwards, and it was just incredible. And it was the kind of moment that I think it kind of lifted the shadow of Roy for the Irish fans, that we're all together in this now, because you all came over. Because I remember all the subs used to have the bibs on.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have the FIFA World Cup bib. So everyone was part of it. And even when Robbie scores, everyone runs.
Well, everyone ran down the side of the pitch.
And it's crazy. And Mick, and it was kind of a bit of absolution for Mick in a way. Like, people remembered that Mick's the manager. We trusted it. Right, Roy's not here, but we're going to move on and we're going to compete. We're at a World Cup. Like, it's amazing. It's the last World Cup we're at.
He galvanised that, you know.
And then we were confident going to you know, because we went to the World Cup stadium, Yokohama, for the Saudi game, and we needed to get 2.
3-0,
we needed to win by 2, I think, goal difference.
So Duff scored, Breen scored, wasn't
and
it?
Robbie
got
Robbie.
And he did the celebration to the camera.
Yeah. So that was a moment as well, because that was just incredible. Like, and
you know, and then you got the Spain game, and I think once it was a pet peeve of mine that when Mick used to always play Duffer up front with Robbie.
Yeah.
but when he put him onto the left, and I think David Connolly came on up front with Robbie, we absolutely just tore them apart. We tore Spain apart. They couldn't handle us. And you know the irony is as well, and people don't realise, and it never gets mentioned enough about Saipan, is that obviously you guys were there to acclimatise and not get injured, of course. And that was a thing that Roy said, but it was to acclimatise. And Ireland, there was a FIFA report, and I've read the FIFA report.
You have?
Yes. And they said that basically, because they always do a technical report of every World Cup, and it said Ireland was one of the fittest teams at the World Cup. So it worked. They applauded the preparation.
Yeah.
They applauded preparation.
I was going to say, we rehydrated ourselves very well. Especially when we went to South Korea. Obviously, we flew over there, and it was we were playing either Spain or South Africa, wasn't it? They were playing. So
yes,
it was. So Mick says, I want everyone down. So we're all in, obviously, our Umbro gear. So everyone down in the bar watching. There was a pool table where we're all watching it. And can we have a drink? Yeah, you can have a drink. You think this is only 5 days before we were due to play them. One of the lads went, you won't believe it. We're like, what? It's an Irish bar down the road. Why is it no matter where you go in the world, there's always an Irish bar, and the lads are going, say you're going to bed. We're like, what? Say you're going to bed. We'll just meet outside. So sure enough, the lads are off in twos, all umbered up. You're thinking, well, there's going to be fans there anyway, which there was. So all of a sudden then Stan and Alan Kelly, they were talking to Mick, so they couldn't leave. So we all end up in this Irish bar in the middle of South Korea.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. One of the best nights that we've had, and this obviously before the game. All the lads are down there. Clinton was there. Obviously, Clinton doesn't drink. Gaz Kelly was there. There was a band on. Kells was like banging the thing against his head. Sure enough, Stan and Al came down then later on, and I do remember Stan or Al Kelly telling the story as well that I think we only got out there about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus.
And Mick pulled Stan and Al, I think, the following day, and he says, like, I'm hearing a story, I don't know how true it is, but I'm hearing that you were out with a load of lads until 3 o'clock in the morning. He went, it's not right. It's all right, I'm glad that it was 5 o'clock it was. So we literally had to carry him out, and we were walking back up the road towards the hotel, and you could see Duff on the other side of the street, literally absolutely smashed, but stumbling up the road, and yeah.
But you needed them kind of things as well, because that
yeah,
squad's 5 days. I mean, it's the World Cup though, isn't it? Like you need the pressure you're under.
Of course,
you need them moments.
So we obviously got beat by Spain. We go back to the hotel, we're devastated, and who walks in? Lord of the dance, Michael Flatley. Walks into the hotel, brought in where we're having food, and he, hi Michael, hi, you all right? And he's like, literally about 10 minutes later, he's like, lads, he says, like, we're all proud of you, the whole country's proud of you. He says, like, there's a lovely place down the road, there's like an Irish bar. We're like, we fucking know Michael. So sure enough, we walked outside. We all decided then, right, let's go back down to the Irish bar, and walked outside. He had a black limousine that had come in, and Clinton Morrison and Gary Kelly are doing Irish dance on top of the limousine.
Fucking hell.
So that was it.
Jesus.
And he doesn't drink, imagine.
And he doesn't drink. Yeah. So yeah, it was. But I do honestly think someone like Roy Keane in that team, who knows where it would have took us. I honestly believe that we definitely, he would have ran over the top of Spain.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have gone to penalties because we would have dominated them. South Korea, I think we would have beat them. Yeah. Although they would have been at home, but we didn't fear nobody.
No.
And whoever we might got in the quarterfinals or whatever it was would Korea have been in the quarterfinals?
I think Korea was
16
quarterfinals. They got to the semi, did they?
Korea got to the semi over Spain. They beat Spain and got to the semi-finals. And no.
Who did they play afterwards? Who did they play?
Was it Germany? Was it? Was it not Germany?
Can't have been Germany.
Brazil knocked them out today.
Brazil. It was Brazil.
Brazil, was it?
Would yeah, so we would have had
So
Brazil.
if we had to beat Korea, we would have been in the semis?
With Brazil, yeah.
Oh, wow. So
and Ireland were the only team that scored against Germany.
Yep.
Apart from
Ronaldo, because he got a brace in the final, and Robbie Keane were the only player. We have a habit of doing that, don't we? Only
scorers.
Same in USA '94, were the only team to beat Italy in 90 minutes because they lost in penalties against Brazil. We always do it.
We always think we're worse than we actually are. That's the problem. It's Irish mentality, isn't it? We always, into a shell, and then it takes maybe 20 minutes into a game, and then we actually realise we can compete with these boys, and then we kind of start to take over. Was that still like that in your day? It kind of took a while to
it's just
even though you had
just make sure you don't do anything foolish in the first 15 minutes, and then you know that the quality's going to shine through. You've got players that, obviously, Duffer on his day, obviously said something quite a while ago about doing all my running, which I did pull him up for. Damien. Bollocks.
Well, now's your chance, Ian.
No, listen, I love Duffer, he's a great lad, you know what I mean, but I never even made a comment about Duffer, but Duffer being Duffer, obviously, he had to come out and say something because of what I'd said about Stephen Kenny, or not really sure what it was, and saying that he'd done all my running. So I had texted him after I had that interview saying he'd done all my running, and he was very apologetic, shall we say. We shall leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. That's fair.
Just on the 2002 World Cup team squad, then, I know you obviously continue with Ireland then, but do you meet up with them? Like, is there anything that you kind of with the 2002 lads? Like, was nothing ever done?
No.
Do you want Martin to arrange something?
In the cladded ring.
In the cladded ring.
We can.
We can
start with now.
We did it last year.
Yeah.
No, that was brilliant, actually. That is in the art. Which camera I'm looking at? That is in the archives, by the way. Lansdowne Legends. You can listen to that. Obviously, unfortunately, Mick, goes. It doesn't work out. We lose 4-2 in Russia, 2-1 at home to Switzerland. We're chasing the game at 1-1. Unfortunately, he's getting booed. There's chance of Keno. There's even talk of the FEI, in Moscow. I remember this was a report at the time, and it's on the internet, where a delegate goes, "Oh well, we." I think he said it like over a drink. He didn't. It wasn't public consumption. But it was a quote. Whereas, I think we'll need to get Roy Keane back now, and we'll have to do that. It was that kind of thing that was coming out. It was being leaked at the time, so it was a lot of pressure on me.
Who was that? John Delaney or?
I don't know who it was. It was just reported that was from the FBI.
Oh, right.
Yeah, at the time. I genuinely don't know who it was. It's just, I do a lot of research and go through, and you read a lot of these stories, and it's still there. You can still get articles from 20 odd years ago on the internet. They're still, they're embedded on the World Wide Web. And I remember just reading about that. And he goes, unfortunately, and Brian Kerr comes in. And what was the difference? I've heard of the difference between Mick and Brian Kerr. Obviously, the Rebel songs, the Mick Burns, and all of that was carried over from the Jack era. But when Brian Kerr comes in, apparently he changes all of that. I heard he brought in, I don't know if I'm correct, he brought in jazz music or something to relax the players, or it was a complete.
I don't know, because he left me out for quite some time. I remember I moved to Spain. He said, if you move to Spain, I'm not going to get to see you, and how can I pick you if I haven't seen you? So, and one of the games then I got called up. It was a friendly game. If it had been a qualifier, or I would have, but my wife was due then. I says, like, you know what I mean? I love playing for my country. I said, but obviously it's a friendly game. I'd love to be there for the bet. And he went, well, if you make that decision, I won't pick you. I was left out for 18 months.
Really?
Yeah. Left out for 18 months, yeah. Then obviously I was doing well out in Spain. Scored the 4th goal for Levante in La Liga. Obviously doing well, and he called us back in. And the game, 2 qualifying games, I'm sure, were Israel and, was it Faroe Islands?
Away, yeah.
Away.
Yeah.
I scored in both games.
That's right.
Scored a pen.
Scored a pen in Faroe, and I scored an unbelievable free kick against Israel. Obviously that was 2-2. So so Brian had left me out for that duration of time, which I would have had a hell of a lot more games. Yeah. So
you can tell by your tone of voice there's a bit of resentment
well,
towards Brian Kerr. Is he?
Well,
it hurts.
Trapattoni did the same with Andy Reid, didn't he? And it cost him a number of caps. Like,
Was it?
Yeah.
At least he knew Reedy was Irish.
Yeah.
Didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
It was. I was down at Reading at the time, and Longy, I says, Longy, any chance when you're over? He says, like, he mentioned me. Trapattoni's reply was, obviously in his Italian accent, I didn't know he was Irish.
That's mad.
It just goes to show you, doesn't it? Like Brian Kerr says he can't watch it. I mean, I'm sure you're on Sky Sports, like La Liga. Just switch on Sky Sports,
Yeah.
that game against Israel, the 2-2, obviously we're 2-0 up, we're flying. And I think he had Robbie Keane dislocate his shoulder. Should have been 3-0 up, if I remember, he had a goal disallowed. And we're absolutely flying. You've Keane and Morrison up front. Roy Keane wasn't playing, but you had Kilbane in the centre with Holland, I think. And then on the left you had Duff and you had Andy Reid, and they're intertwining and they're changing over because they're two 2-foot players. Andy Reid is very underrated.
Yeah.
Two fabulous players. We're tearing them apart and it's electric. And then Robbie Keane goes off and he brings on Graham Kavanagh, and Kavanagh goes into the centre. Nothing against Graham Kavanagh, by the way, fine player.
Good job, because he lives across the road from me. He's a good
There you
mate.
go. No, he's a friend. He follows me on Instagram, but not genuinely. Like, now, I don't think he, always never had a bad game for Ireland, and I don't blame him on any of this. And then basically, so then you have Duffer goes up front with Clinton Morrison, who he's never played with before, up front, and Andy Reid is stuck on the right, and then Kilbane stuck on the left, and then what was fluent is now rigid, and then we're 2-2 at half time, and the game's on its head, and then I think we just we're playing this flowing football, and then we, like what we did against Hungary, we're bombing the ball into the box. Dudu, a twat?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Or twat? Or he was a twat anyway. With the fucking thing up his nose, he punches Andy O'Brien. Andy O'Brien turns around. He feigns injury. He gets Andy O'Brien sent off. It finishes 2-2. The subs didn't help. The ref didn't help. The goalkeeper didn't help. Did you find after that? You can tell by my tone I still haven't forgiven Brian Kerr over that. Did you feel that was this manager, like it's not working out?
I think Brian did achieve some great things with what age group was it that they went on
16s
to?
and 18s.
18s, yeah. Obviously taking the step up from youth team football to the senior level, it's a massive step, you know what I mean? I think I like Brian. I think he's a decent enough guy, but it did piss me off for the duration of time he left me out.
Yeah.
And it does annoy me because obviously I know that I could have helped the team. I know that I could have got more caps and I could have scored a hell of a lot more goals as well. So yeah, it does wind me up.
Was there any rush then to try and get back to playing maybe in England when he was leaving you out because of playing in Spain, or were you just happy to maybe stand your ground and say, no, I'm staying in Spain, I'm enjoying playing football here, I'm liking it?
Listen, there was obviously, you had David Beckham was playing for Real Madrid, Jonathan Woodgate was playing for Real Madrid, you had Michael Owen there. It's a cop out to say, like, in this day and age, obviously technology, games on telly, get on a flight.
And you're playing in a league,
you're not playing.
Particularly under John Delaney's FAI, you think you'd find someone to fund it for him.
So I just think it was a bit of a.
How did you find playing in Spain? Was it?
Yeah, it was good, great experience.
Did it suit your style? Do you think it suited you?
Well, obviously you have to adapt, don't you? But it was a brilliant experience. I was there for 3 years, so before then I moved back to Sunderland. So nice waking up every morning. It's sunny.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
used to it.
Certainly not like that in Sunderland, I'm sure.
No.
What was that like? Obviously, you played with Roy. What was he like as a manager?
You have to change as the manager, but I barely played any games under Roy. I'm sure it was probably around about 4 or 5 games. Probably most of them were at right back. I played in the derby game against Newcastle, which I think was it. Danny Collins, I think, might have scored a Kenwyn Jones. The game finished 1-1, Sunderland. And then I played in a game where we played against Everton. We got stuffed 5 or 6.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember that game? Arteta was playing. Well, yeah, I didn't play enough games. I was only there for a year, and Roy then went down to Ipswich. He phoned me up and he says, fancy come down to Ipswich? I went, right, love you to bits. I said, but why am I going to move my family all the way down to Ipswich when I barely played up here? He went, right, okay, no problem. See you soon. That was it.
Was that last time you spoke to him?
No. Yeah. I do. I obviously get the odd text from Roy and that, so yeah.
No, I mean, what was he like though around? Obviously you didn't play
as a manager.
Yeah, because you hear all the stories of karate kicking the board and
board and stuff.
He seemed to be a bit of a throwback to like the 80s and 90s a little bit with it.
Yeah.
And I've often said I think Roy Keane, if he was around in the 90s, he would have been massively successful. I think his management style would have suited, you know, the tougher players of the 80s and 90s, you know.
Would have suited Roy Keane, the player.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, obviously
I did see a tactic board get snapped in half, yeah. I must
Really?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah, listen, Roy Keane had come from Manchester United. Obviously, now he's managing Sunderland. The players at Sunderland are not on the same level of the players that he was used to playing or training with. Levels of standards of training. Obviously, you had your Beckham, your Nevilles, you had Scholes, but Scholes for me was unbelievable. For such a timing of tackling wasn't great, but his timing in the box, the amount of goals that Neville had put in or Beck, and his timing to getting in between centre halves, scoring some amazing,
So much better than Gerrard,
goals.
wasn't he?
I like Gerrard as well. I'm not here to criticise.
You're a shit story.
I know.
Do you know that?
Yeah, you little
Don't
shit
mind
store.
him. Yeah,
Both
don't
better than
mind him.
Lampard.
Yeah,
That's
but
not harsh.
Gerrard, I say I love Gerrard, and obviously Scholes. What a player! I love Scholes. So I'm not, obviously, but I think Roy is on a different level to them as well. So we'll leave it at that.
Just back to your club career then, like, what type of player did you like playing against, like, as a left back? Like a rapid winger, would that be, or
Well, the
like
one
someone
game that stands out for me that didn't go great was at Ellen Road. We played against United, Karl Pavorsky.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, as you're playing more and more games, you know how to deal with certain situations. But on this particular day, obviously, he was rapid, just over time. Then you think, right, I can't get in a foot race. You give yourself 5 yards, so if you'd settle, you'd be back in the deal with the ball. But I didn't really fear anyone. Obviously, whether you're playing against Bex or you're playing against Figo or whoever, giving half a chance, try and smash them.
Yeah.
Which you can't do nowadays.
What, when did you finish up? Was it Reading you finished up at?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. How did that come about, and how did that?
It was obviously 3 years. It was 3 years at Reading, and then Howe phoned us up and says, "Fancy meeting, having a chat." I met up at Bournemouth Stadium, had a chat, and he says, "I'd love you to come down." And obviously, I want you being a good role model within the dressing room for the younger lads. And first year, Charlie Daniels started at left back. Had to be patient. Charlie got injured. Then I got into the team, played a load of games, and then I got another year off the back of that. And that was the year that Bournemouth then got promoted to the Premier League. So yeah.
What did Eddie Howe's a manager? A lot of people wouldn't know really that you played under him for quite a while. Did you know he was going to go on to be a top manager?
Yeah, I love Mick because obviously
Yeah.
he gave me so many opportunities for Ireland, but I think attention to detail, Eddie Howe is like heads above the rest. Yeah.
It's kind of what you have to be though in the modern game.
Well,
don't you?
I think, but he's so obviously at Bournemouth. He was in the training ground. I'd probably say 7 o'clock every morning, which training ground was at the stadium, and there was pitches at the back. And obviously now at Newcastle, he kindly invites us up to train as well. Eddie's the first in, the last to leave. Still,
Yeah.
So it's like attention to detail, and obviously he looks at stuff so that now at training, when they're training and while I was there was 2 different drones up, obviously watching all the training. Eddie will come in and obviously he'll be having his lunch. He won't be just talking to people. He'll be like on his computer looking at it going, that's good, but I want to be better. Out in the afternoon addressing it.
Right.
So it's like,
Attention to detail.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it? Now, like you see the old school managers, and they're just screaming at lads on the training pitch.
Yeah.
Now it's like drones.
And that's what we're all different animals. Certain lads need screaming at. Other lads go, like, come on, a bit of love, and because you're gonna get the maximum out of them. Other lads need a kick in the arse to know, come on, need you back on side or whatever. But he's brilliant. Obviously got Jason Tyndall there, who's been with him along the journey.
Start
so it's good cop, bad cop, because Eddie and then Jace is there and he's winding everyone else up, if you know what I mean.
His whole internet wound up for the last couple of years.
Oh, right, okay. But yeah, they're great guys, really good guys. Yeah.
What was did you ever, speaking of players needing shouting at, were you ever on the receiving end of a shouting at, or?
Well, if any footballer has ever said they haven't, there must be some footballer. No, it's like.
What was your worst one?
I can't remember. There's probably many a times you're getting shouted at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably more so when you're in the youth team. Our youth team manager was a guy called Paul Harte. Went on to manage at Forest and Portsmouth. I mean, but he just wanted the best for us. But yeah, so one of the lads are going a night out, shouldn't have been out the weekend. We all got punished.
Really?
Everyone in the Monday, we are all running until you're literally sick.
It's like the old.
Well, for instance, you've let us down, and we're all going, what are you doing? Or if you're running and you haven't got back in time, you're all doing it again.
Yeah.
So it's standards, discipline.
It's like military. It's like Full Metal Jacket, is it? Where your man lets him down, you all get punished.
But the football that we played in the academy set up at Leeds was brilliant, unbelievable football. I think that's why so many of us then went on to have successful careers, because of the demands he expected day in, day out.
What do you think of the difference in academy? Obviously, you're working in football now from like a advisory aspect to it. What do you think of academy football now compared?
Soft.
Is it like soft. You see a lot of people say it's like going through the motions? It's not
I
just soft.
think obviously back then we had to. I know obviously players don't do it now, but I think it's a good grounding of whether it's cleaning someone's boots. Back then you had to clean the balls, pump the balls up, you had to clean the toilets. I think it makes you appreciate everything that you then. Kids nowadays, they're on thousands. They're looking like if you say to a senior lad, says to a young lad, do you mind go and get me boots? They're like, more or less like, get them yourself. It's like, that's the attitude. Yeah. So it's
they've not earned it really, have they now? They're not earning. They're not grounded.
They think they've made it. But they're playing 18s football, a million miles away from the first team. Yeah. And they might be on decent money now, but potentially could go on to the numbers that are put about nowadays. But it's all about the mindset. Mindset's all wrong. Yeah. Players are soft nowadays.
What do you make of the current Ireland team? Obviously, we've had a great result there. Two great results in a row. The Armenia was a dreadful game.
I think the manager was coming under some pressure, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
he was. So listen, it's just
from you.
Ireland fans will get right behind you. They just need you to go out and be passionate. And to be honest, them two games, like the Portugal game and the game against
Hungary,
Pardon?
Hungary.
Like,
we were in Yerevan. I was fuming at the result in Yerevan. The performance was so bad. It was abject. It should have been 3-4-5-1, and you could feel it, couldn't you? Like you could feel it in the ground that we. One of them done tri-parrot, and not one player went over.
No, it was Evan Ferguson.
Evan Ferguson. Yeah, they took out Evan Ferguson, and not one Irish player went over to see how he was. Yeah. And I remember just saying that to you at the time. Like I think back to your generation.
Oh, we're all in.
You're all in, yeah. Roy, Gary, yeah.
It is, yeah. It's listen, I've always liked him as a player. Obviously, didn't walk out at Tottenham for whatever reasons, but I'm delighted for him. You know what I mean? Credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? Like, to score 2 goals against Portugal, and the way he finished them off, then to go and back it up a few days later and score a hat-trick. And obviously, not only that, he was so far away from the flick on from Scales, and to cover the ground, and then it's hard to make the finish that he's done. He's got like studs on to divert it under the guy's hand. And obviously what happened afterwards, and your dodgy little scream as well. But these are the moments as fans, as obviously, isn't it?
Yeah. Gives us hope, doesn't it?
That was lovely. I mean, like I'll be honest. You looked at me when he was saying he was under pressure, and you winked at me. Yeah, I wasn't happy with the manager because we'd gone to all the games, we'd seen like. Why is he doing that? And why is that happening? We're not getting a result. And then all of a sudden against and I'm thinking, Portugal, we're just going to get stuffed here. Although I did say to you beforehand, I did say to Connor, I said, I have a feeling there might be something special here. No, don't.
He gives every different option possible.
Got to cover yourself, Ian. You know what I mean? And I remember, so we'll see what happens. And we were magnificent against Portugal. Like just 5 at the back, sat back, bang. 1-0, bang, hit the post, bang, 2-0. Ronaldo loses the head. And obviously Hungary was a bit more
smash and grab.
Smash and grab. But you need a bit of that as well. There's nothing.
Yeah.
nothing
bit of
wrong
luck.
with
Some
that.
sort of teams you have to go with and be like that.
It's the best time to score a goal, right at the end.
It's the best. You couldn't have asked for a better way to reach the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like the only negative from it then after, because you're sitting there thinking this is the best buzz ever, and then you have to realise we actually haven't qualified, because we were celebrating like we had qualified, but then it was such night and day, like, because we were going to the games over the last 18 months under Hammer, and it was like, even though we were winning some matches, the improvement from my point of view wasn't clear. And then we had even Armenia. Even when you look back to October, we had Armenia at home. Armenia had more possession against us before they got a red card at home in Lansdowne Road, and you're thinking we're actually going nowhere here. You're thinking, because we have a good crop of players. It's the best crop of players we've had probably in the last 10 years in terms of talent wise. Anyway,
Decent side, yeah.
And then you're thinking, how are we not kicking on? And then all of a sudden, just it took one moment really for it to click. It was that one thing of Troy Parrott's initial goal, and then it all kicked on. And I know you were saying last year when we were last year in Clalla, you were saying that you kind of fallen out of love with the national team. And then all of a sudden,
I think when it was under Stephen Kenny, I just think it was like, it was just like, not only that, he thought he was fooling the fans, but you can see right through him. You know, everything was positive, but there was nothing positive on the pitch. People can only take so much of the bullshit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But best decision obviously they made, and obviously he's found his level, like I said before, which I think he's lost or losing the dressing room where he is. So it is what it is, you know what I mean. But obviously Ireland football, just nice to have something to look forward to now, and obviously, please God, first game, I'm trying to get some tickets myself.
Did you get any tickets for Ian?
Yeah, so I've already been on to Sean saying I'd love to go. Yeah, so listen, I'd love to be there. It's a great opportunity. It's a game that on the day I think Ireland could beat them.
We will win. You have to be positive.
And then listen, a game against Denmark, so you would like to think it probably will be Denmark, and at home, like, the atmosphere would be special. So there's a couple of games that hopefully, Sean, if you can sort me some tickets, I will be there.
And just on, because obviously you're working in advisory with football management at the moment and stuff, what young players do you watch? Obviously everyone knows that I like to talk about the best young players coming through.
To be honest, Ireland, well, you look at the 17s, I watched every game. I have to say there's some I like that Vinnie Leonard. I think he done really well, really good World Cup. You have obviously Finn Sherlock, who's obviously coming back from a long-term injury, had to manage his minutes. I thought the goalkeeper Noonan was very good. Rory Finneran, top player. I don't know how you pronounce his name. The kid that's Shamrock Rovers has just gone to Arsenal. Yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister, that one, but talented player, and obviously Michael Noonan. Give him half a chance, it normally ends up either he's had a really good World Cup as well. So I think Irish football, obviously the young lads that are coming through, I think Ireland's going to be in a really, really good place. Just it also then comes down to the right manager that can manage these players as well and get the maximum out of them.
Do you think we should be doing more to fast track these lads through? Even as I don't even think we've seen the best of them young lads.
How can you fast track them though?
It's just like
the problem is that they don't have I'm not saying the environment, because obviously the rules and regulations, a lot of the players that we're going, they cannot, obviously if they want to come to England, they have to wait until 18 because of Brexit. At the moment, they can go at 16. A lot of them went to Italy. Name one that has walked out and went to Italy.
I've been very vocal about it. It's the
dynamics ain't right, because obviously
it doesn't work no matter what, even if you're Italian.
It's not. And then you're looking at a few players have gone to Germany. Personally, I think the rules need to change, because I think it's going to keep affecting the young kids. They all want to go to England if they're good enough to get a move to England, and then but having to wait them extra 2 years to go over, they're losing it, and then 2 years that are going to benefit them, and I think it knocks the whole kind of dynamics then for whether it's playing for Ireland, obviously strength conditioning, fuel they're putting in the bodies to perform at that level. Even if there's a compromise, change it from 18 to 17. So, but time will tell. Yeah.
You think with the commentary agreement, we'd have a loophole, wouldn't you, with Ireland getting lads old earlier? But
I think obviously kids from Northern Ireland, 16, they can go to Ireland. And the thing is, go to England. So
it should. I don't think it's right. Like the likes of Trent Coney-Doherty, just because he's born in Derry, he can move over to England when he's 16 and lads born in Dublin or anywhere on the other side of the border, like, because as much as it's still Irish lads in the end of the day. But then I do think at the end of the day we have to make, if a lad is going to go abroad, we need to emphasise not going to Italy, going to the likes of a Scandinavian country, going to Belgium or
you
Holland.
say that you're looking at is a Jaden Numa of Benfica.
They're doing really well there.
I think Cork haven't benefited from that deal.
But is it one of them ones?
Only if he ever breaks into the first team, they'll benefit. If he doesn't.
But do you not think, say for example, a long-term approach to it where maybe you take a lesser fee at the start rather than, as we've seen with Italian clubs, which Italian clubs might offer a massive outright fee. Say for example, Nasrazi, who was at Como, he was never going to get a chance there, he never did. And now Rovers, they did get, was it 650 grand or 650 or something up front, but then they're never going to get that sell-on fee because he's gone from there now. Rather than maybe say Jaden does really well at Benfica, even goes for even say 20 million. And Cork get a 20% sell on. Do you not think that is more of a better long-term approach? If you sell, maybe take a lesser fee up front and gamble on the long term.
No, well, you're looking at David Dunn. David Dunn's gone from Cork to Monaco. I've heard on the grapevine he's not enjoying it. Obviously, it comes down to then an agent that knows what the right environment is for these young kids that they're going to flourish. For me, he had the chance of going there, or he had the chance of going to Copenhagen. Anyone with a bit of common sense would say, obviously, Monaco looks nice, but I don't think it's great. I think Copenhagen is a club that will develop you, put you in the first team, and then sell you on back to England where you want to go to. But obviously, he's with a guy called Dave Berber. He looks after quite a few. Obviously, Evan Ferguson. I don't think Evan, up until recently, hasn't been smashing it abroad. Looked after Andrew Moore, and I don't think that was a great move either. So it comes down to these people are doing it for the wrong reasons. I'll vocally come out and say it. They're not football people. The numbers, purely money reasons. And the reason why David Dunn went there, because he'll have got a bigger agent's fee. That's it in a nutshell. And it could hinder that kid's development, where there was loads of clubs in England. Probably would have been better going to Copenhagen a couple of years and then come back to England.
And there's, as you know, there's a lot of clubs. I know, like the likes of Man United now. I know there's a lot of young Irish lads they're actually interested in. And I know technically it's against FIFA rules to have a feeder club example, but you could go to Nice for 2 years and then you head on to United.
Yeah, but I don't think clubs want to do. I don't think the kids want to do that.
No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to take
that. It's a bit like Mason Mealy. He was linked with
City.
One of the clubs, City, but they were going to loan them out.
They have a team in Belgium. I think they wanted.
So obviously he's playing men's first team football, and obviously now he's agreed to deal with Tottenham. Obviously the club have benefited 1.9 million quid, so I think there's a sell on in that as well. So there you go.
It all depends on the individual, but I think we do need a better job of handling, if we're going to go with 16, make sure it's the right club for the right purposes.
Well, I will always say, and obviously the job that I'm doing here now, obviously football agency, is it's looking after the player's best interest. It's not my decision. You know, I can only give what I think will be the best, but most of these families don't have the experience of knowing what the right decision would be. And obviously someone like David Dunn, I think David's adopted, I think he is.
Yeah, I believe so,
so I don't think his dad knows a great deal about football, so it's important these families know, because if not, kids away from home, he's moving to a whole different country, can't speak the language, he's homesick, so you've then got an unhappy player.
No, well, we're going to have to leave it there, Ian. Just running out of time there, but thank you so much for coming in.
Pleasure. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Happy Christmas, Ian. Anyway.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Wow.
And have we mentioned what have we mentioned what Ian has signed for us?
Yes, but I'm sure that will have been given away by the time we release this.
Have we?
I don't know.
We're not going to wait for it to release.
Well, Ian has signed a bottle of Jameson for us here, and you can win that prize.
And if you do like the ginger ale and lime, which is a favourite of mine, these cans will be gone very soon.
So sorry, cans.
Well, that's a limited edition version of Jameson, by the way, Puma collab.
It's a collab with Puma,
Which it's a collab with Puma and Jameson, and Ian Harte has signed that for us, and thank you very much for that.
Thanks
Ian.
for having us.
And you can
can
win that, and absolutely thank you for coming on. So we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube. Please like the video. Head over to a Facebook, Instagram, and a Twitter account, and you can also give it a little bit of extra or plus $4.99 per month. Ian, If you want, we can do you a deal on that as well.
Family and friends rates.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is funny enough, $4.99. $4.99 per month if you want to give us a bit of extra support, and you can also buy us a coffee as well. All those links are in the description below. Anyway, we're out of here. I'm David Dunn, Martin Prendergast, Conor McAvoy, and of course the lovely, wonderful Ian Harte. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
See you in the next one.